Ah, oh my goodness. Well, guys, um, hi. This is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and my husband and I spent a lot of time troubleshooting this ridiculous device that we've been working on for 2 weeks. And again, it didn't work. It was all set up. Give me a minute. Let me fix this. Ah, yeah, it's a frustrated grunt. I do that too. All right. Well, I was going to rejoice with you guys and say, yay, we got the GoPro to work. But guess what? Nope, we didn't. So, we're back to square, gonna have to be back to square one again. My husband and I spent about an hour last night troubleshooting this thing, and I hooked it up at 9 o'clock a.m. this morning so that it was looking good. It was broadcasting through the GoPro for one reason or another. It didn't work. So GoPro, I am not impressed. But anyway, maybe it's me that you're not impressed with. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we will go back to the drawing board on that. And as you can tell, we're broadcasting from the computer, which is not my favorite. You get to see all five of my chins this way, but hey, vanity is vanity. Um, it is what it is. That was meant for a chuckle, you guys. I mean, we all in that age. Well, not all of us, obviously. Some of you are much younger, but anyway, there was just how is everybody doing? Welcome to Friday Fun Live. If this is the first time you're here, welcome. It usually, well, in the past, it has run much smoother getting started. Um, but thanks to new software rollouts with YouTube, which please fix them. I've had to kind of do something a little bit different. So we are just in that gray area of getting everything worked out. But anyway, that's just such a blip on the screen, such a non-mentionable compared to what I know a lot of you guys are going through. It has been a crazy, crazy week here. In fact, did I put my notes here? Yes, I did. Um, and before I go any further, let me let you know that next Friday Fun Live, I'm going to have to cancel because I'm going to literally be on the road. I'm going to be traveling south to see some of my children in Georgia and to celebrate with my daughter and her husband for yet another baby shower. So I'm really excited about that. But I'm going to have a 2-day drive down. So those of you who are praying, folks, please, I appreciate, praying for travel mercies. I could use all, all the mercy I can get in that area. But yeah, so not worried or anything, but just it's a long drive. And it's a beautiful drive. And I'm hoping to stop in and see Bobby if he is around. So, Bobby, if you're listening, I'm going to try to stop on the way. So I'll need to, communicate with you and just make sure that you're okay. If you guys are praying for Bobby, please pray for him. He's been in and out of the ER this past week. He's one of our crochet friends in Kentucky. So, Bobby, we really do wish you the best, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. I hope, Lord willing, if I can make it there. But anyway, let me go ahead. Let me tell you a couple other things this week. Oh, it's actually been a good week. It's probably the week that most of you all dream about. I've been stuck at home, and thankfully, not because of health reasons, but because our driveway and our road, our private road that is not owned by us, but um, it's a long story, but we're to helping to get that repaired. It's a long road up. The county does not maintain it, and it has started to look like the surface of the moon this past year or two, if you know what I'm talking about. Huge, rocky holes, dangerous to drive cars over. Um, so we are finally taking the plunge and getting that done. And the people, the pavers, um, by the way, a really, really excellent company. I know there are a lot of fly-by-night crews that do this thing, so do be careful if you get any paving done. But this guy gave us the best quote that we've ever gotten from anybody. And after 20 years of living with a gravel driveway, we now have pavement, which is unbelievable. Outside, I taught, I don't know if you remember this, Hannah. I think you may have learned to ride the bike. I don't know if you had learned before we moved into our house that we're in now, but I know I taught at least 2 to 3 of my kids and all of the neighbor kids on both sides of us how to ride their bicycle, and it was usually the little two-wheeled bike that we have. This is, you're riding a bike without training wheels. Taught all the kids in our driveway how to ride a bike on gravel. So as moms, we got really good at picking out the gravel out of the wounds. I know that sounds horrible, but in some ways I guess it's easier than asphalt. But yeah, we taught a lot of kids on gravel how to ride a bike and everything. So just seeing it paved is really, really weird. Um, and it's really beautiful. So I'm really looking forward. It's going to keep a lot of the dirt from coming into the house, as people drive around and then the wind blows and all the dirt gets onto the front of the house and into the windows if the door's open. So yeah, it'll be nice to have that little bit of a perk going. But because of that, I've been stuck with the rain and everything. So it hasn't been like an instant process. These guys are really good. They're taking their time and they're doing a fantastic job. And let me just go ahead and tell you the name. Let's see if I can get the name of the company. Nah, come on. I just set up a new. Okay. Well, give me a second here. It's called Contech, Contech Paving. Contech Paving. Um, and the owner of the company is named Sam. So if you're in the greater Washington, D.C. area, give him a call. It's a small family-owned business, and they are excellent. And Hannah just texted me. She says, "I remember learning how to ride at the townhouse." I know. Okay, my 2 younger sons learned to ride at the house. Okay, yeah, and definitely the neighbor kids. And Hannah says that she had a bad bike accident on the gravel driveway. She remembers, and the cure for it was a bubble bath. Thank you, Hannah. That's great. So anyway, let me go ahead and that's the big news. But all that to say with the driveway stuff is I've been home and I have been usually typing like a mad woman, working on things, editing, recording, and doing a lot of crocheting. So I'm trying to get as much work in as I can before I hit the road next week. Not literally hit the road, but you know what I mean. Take off and spend some more time with kids while I can. Well, let me go ahead and say hey to you guys here. Marie, so good to see you in the chat, and Susan and Margita and Donna. Thank you for your prayers, Donna, and Denise and Wanda from Bahama, North Carolina. She says, missed the last 2 weeks, praying everyone is well. Yeah, and Red Hooks, good to see you from a drizzling Northeast Ohio. Yeah, I think we've got part of that system as well. Red Hooked and Susie Snedhead. Oh, I love that name. Welcome to the chat, Susie. And Jacqueline, she says, little overcast from LA. Hope to see the live. Might be late. Well, Jacqueline, by the time you get here, I'll probably just be getting to your message. So welcome. And Kelly Dye, so glad that you can be here. And she says it's a beautiful sunny day here in Pittsburgh. Yay. I have some kids in Pittsburgh, so I'm glad it's sunny for them. And yeah, Joni says she was born in Pittsburgh, Troy Hill, North Side. Wow. Yeah, and Joni, the conference that will be held August 24th through the 26th this year, and this is an in-person conference, is going to be not too far from there. Green Tree, which is outside the Beltway on the outside of Pittsburgh. And I'll just put a little quick plug in here. I will be teaching 4 classes there. I'm really excited about the beginning knitting. that is taught specifically to crocheters. I'll be teaching 2 different cabling classes and a fun crochet fabric class. So, so anyway, and so yeah, so if you guys are looking to sign up for the Pittsburgh classes, I'm told they are filling in pretty quickly. So I mean, just to let you all know, I'm not just talking about my classes, but all the other classes that are there as well. So you may want to check those out. Um, and Susie says she's in Central Pennsylvania. Wow, I've spent uh, many church conferences in years past in Indiana, Pennsylvania, at IUP. I think that's the university. And yeah, yeah. Susie says it's cool seeing where you all are from. And Swati, so good to see you in the chat from LA. Um, she says she'll try to catch up later. Well, yeah, whatever. That'd be great. So glad that you were able to comment in the chat. And Angie, good morning to you. And thanks for the reminder, Susie, about hitting that thumbs up button. That does help the broadcast to go a little bit further than it normally would. I so appreciate that. And I do have a lot of stuff to show you today. Um, Let me go ahead and ooh, there we go. I got a little behind there. Nothing new about that. And Wanda Gordon, it's so good to see you in the chat. And Janeth, welcome, welcome. And Diane, she says it's a beautiful day there in Missouri. And Gail, she says, "Oh my, I'm actually early." Yeah, I'm finally getting to those comments. Welcome, Gail and Karen from Ontario, and Jeannie. So good to see you in the chat, my friend. And I hope you have a great weekend as well. And oh, and Gail says she is from Alaska. Wow, I just so want to go there someday. My kids, my daughter Becky and her husband traveled there for a friend's wedding a couple years ago, and they had a spectacular time. They were just in awe of your beautiful state. And I just would love to be able to maybe cruise there someday or just visit, maybe even fly in a bush plane. I don't know. Maybe even fly a bush plane. We'll see. um, and Pat Taylor, so good to see you. And Josie, she says, "Happy Friday, everyone. Hope everyone is well." Oh, dealing with kidney stones. No, been resting and getting a lot of crocheting done. Oh, Josie, I know that feeling, unfortunately, and so does Hannah. Hannah has a horror story on that one, but I'll spare you. I'll spare that. I'll spare you that one right now. But definitely get your rest, and you know what the doctor says: drink all that lemon water and all that stuff. And anyway, I will put a little hint in as to how I got my kidney stones. I ate too well. Yeah, I ate too well. I was having spinach smoothies. I was eating nuts like the guy on TV in the 70s. I was eating a lot of nuts, almond milk, and all these things have something called oxalate in it. I'm not a medical professional, but all I know is if you have too many dark greens and you have a body like mine, you can end up with kidney stones. So I had to really scale back on this fresh green spinach. Apparently, that's the biggest offender. I know that sounds weird, right? You eat really well and then you get boom put into the ER. But well, anyway, I hope you are able to, get past this and, get on to a better place, Josie. Hannah, like I say, Hannah and I know that pain way too well. Hannah has me trumped on all that. She did her time in the hospital for a couple more than a week on this. Anyway, yeah, thank you, Susie, for praying for Josie. I will definitely let me write that down. That's a good reminder. I needed that as a reminder. Let me get my pad of paper out. Uh, Make a line. So Josie. I gotta have prompts. I can't hold it all in my head. All right. And thank you, Hannah, for being there. I appreciate that. And we have life advice. That's the first time I think I've seen you. Welcome to our little lifetime on Friday. Um, Thank you, Hannah. Hannah says that when she says doing my time in the hospital makes it sound like I had a kidney stone intentionally. No, we know we didn't have them intentionally. And Hannah got them also by eating extremely well. And yeah, it's crazy how it works. So maybe all those carbs and sugar aren't as bad as everybody says. Anyway, they do help life a little bit. Speaking of which, I am wearing my shirt today. This is my candy shirt. It's kind of fun. The names of these yarns, in case you're wondering, Oreo cookie, and then I have Hershey bar, and then chocolate down below. So I got this yarn last year in Colorado, and I saw a gal with a sweater like this, and I just said I gotta have those yarns. So I had fun making this. And this is the popcorn, summer top. It's on my YouTube channel, so it's there if you wanted to take a look at it. Very easy to make, to fit as well. Thank you for your comment, Susie. Thank you for your support, and we love newbies here. And just to let you know, everybody in the chat, for the most part, are amazing people, and if they show that they're, um don't know how to play by the rules, Hannah just graciously helps us to keep the chat safe and family friendly, rated G plus 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 for all. So thank you, Hannah, for helping us. And we are so glad that you're here. Susie Sned Head, I guess if I'm saying that right. Archer Nace, it's so good to see you. Yeah, we did miss you last week. She said, overextended my right wrist tendon. No. Oh, get better, honey. Oh, don't. Oh, that just sounds so painful. And Sandy, oh, so glad to have you in the chat. And oh, thank you, Jeannie. You are so sweet. You are so kind. Thank you. You are too. I think of you and pray for you and your family. You're wonderful family. And just and this woman, Jeannie, the Proverbs 31 yarn, aka Jeannie. Yeah, I won't want to give too many personal details away, but she is a hero. She is caring for somebody heroically in her home, and I'll just leave it at that. And she has an amazing son. So and is doing, I think, the work, whenever people do work in hidden places like this, I think they are the stars. We don't see them in newspapers and on magazine covers, but there's going to be a day when these are the people who are going to be the shining ones, not the celebrities that we see every day. I just have I know the things are going to be so reversed. It's going to be great. And Jeannie, you're going to be one of them, and you too, Hannah. Just whew, can't hold back the tears on that, because I know so many who are just laying their lives down for others. And I know a lot of you guys, a lot of you ladies, are doing that in your home. And I know you think nobody sees, but we live our life for the audience of one. Ah, just so convinced of that. Whew, this is too early. Too early to get this way. But yeah, it's all your fault, Jeannie. You are such an example to all of us. And thank you for your kind words. Ah, and Mary Ford McCourt, so glad to see you here. And Tammy from Oregon. And oh, thank you, Life Advice. Um, yeah, yeah, I'm a Christian, but let me just say too that that's not by any earned thing that I've ever done. It's strictly by his grace. Why he wants me, I don't know. But God is so good. That's all I can say. It's such a blessing. Didn't start out that way in life, but yeah, he plucked me. He plucked me from the road of, heading towards disaster. It's all I can say about it. But yes, he is so good. Um and I'm not quiet about it. And I'm not trying to offend anybody or anything like that. You guys know that. It's just lots of confusion out there, and people need to know what is not so confusing. And Michelle says it's a beautiful sunny 70-degree day in Helena, Montana. Wow. That sounds beautiful. That just sounds perfect. And oh, Denise, it's so good to have you here. And oh, thank you for praying for a safe trip, Denise. I appreciate that. Not leaving until next Thursday, but I'll probably be driving Thursday and Friday. And there is a slim chance if there's absolutely nothing else going on with my kids, which I doubt. But if there's absolutely nothing else, I might chance going live on Saturday for a little bit, but honestly, I don't wanna promise that right now. I just really wanna be all in for my kids when I'm down there because I get to see them so infrequently. So anyway, but I'm gonna miss you guys, but I really probably need to be all in once I get down there, and you know what I mean. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. Thank you for that blessing there about making it safe and sound in his name. Um, ah, Archer Nay says she's okay, but ordered not to crochet. So please pray for healing. Let me write that one down right now. If you're looking for any good books to read, email me, Archer Nays, okay? I am reading an excellent book right now. I'm a little hesitant to just give it my endorsement until I read it cover to cover because I just want to make sure that I can wholeheartedly say, yeah, this is a great book. So far, it's a good book. I don't agree with everything in it, but the balance of what I'm gaining from it, because and let me say this too, and this is a little getting a little bit off track on yarn, but I really enjoy reading books by people who don't think like me because it helps me to better understand them. And I learn so much. And besides, it's boring just to read a book that someone thinks just like me. Sometimes that's a little boring. I know that sounds bad, but just to read a book that by someone who thinks differently is refreshing to me. And I'm really finding a lot of common ground, even though this particular author, well, his name is Jordan Peterson, but I can tell that from the get go that our worldviews are a little bit different. But despite that, I'm finding out that wow, that is a really amazing insight into some of these topics that he's covering, and one thing, one category, one chapter I'm looking forward to reading. I already love the title of the chapter, and it says it talks about don't compare yourself to others, just compare yourself to who you were yesterday. And I just thought that was brilliant, especially with crocheting and especially in social media, especially in all sorts of things. Is, the minute we start comparing ourselves to somebody else, it doesn't go well for us. Usually, we're tempted to compare ourselves to, people way up here, and that leads to discouragement. And of course, if we compare ourselves to people that we perceive to be below us, then that just goes to pride. So, I mean, um, it doesn't go well to compare ourselves to other people. And it's really not a good idea at all. And I'm just looking forward to hearing what he says in his stories and antidotes about that. But he says, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. And I thought, yeah, that's brilliant. So I'm looking forward to I will share more, as I read. And if it's a book that I just have to endorse, I'll let you guys know. All right. Oh, Archer Renee says, I'm staring at my yarn projects and want to cry. I need to send you some good books. um, Send me an email, okay, Archer Renee. I don't know that I still have yours because I generally try not to save those. I don't use them for anything. But I also try to be true to my word of not compiling lists that are not wanted. So anyway, um, I will have to find something for you to do. Oh yes, Jeannie says yes. The favor of the Lord is amazing. It is absolutely. And thank you for yeah. Thanks for praying for Bobby too, Wanda. Okay. Um, Yeah, someone's asking Hannah's telling me someone's asking about the dress in the background. This is similar to let me grab it. This is the same pattern as the top I wore last week. You can make this either into a top, and it's hard to see. It's hard to see the lace without something, behind it, but when you wear it, it's, one level, one layer. So you can either make a top, and you can use a variety of fibers for this, or the dress. And there is a video being worked on. I am like this close to uploading the video, but I still need to go through the writing process. So I'm hoping to make this a priority and roll it out sometime in July. Fingers crossed. So, like I said, been very busy. So I just have a little bit more to do on finishing the video. Then I need to do the writing process, the sizing process, and then send it off to the editor. So that just takes a lot of time. And it's a great time during the summer, and a lot of times folks are not always as readily available, because of the summer months. So, but thanks for asking about that. That will be coming. That will be a Celtic weave and lace top or dress, is what I'm going to call it. A pretty boring title, but descriptive so that you'll know what you're looking for. But thanks for asking about that, Jay, or JY. Is it yeah, JY, or yeah, I don't know if that's initial or the name, but yeah, JY, good. I will let you guys know. You'll be the first to hear once that goes live. Let me go ahead and adjust that a little bit. That's better. Uh Thank you for your prayers, Wanda. And and Michelle, if I could pave my 1,000-foot driveway, but not the 2 miles of gravel road to it. Yeah. Oh, thankfully, our road coming up, the road is, I mean, we're splitting it among the neighbors. We're splitting the cost of paving this thing among 4 families. It's still a lot of money, but it's something that needed to be done to prevent damaged cars coming up and down the road. We've even stopped inviting people over to our house for fear that their cars would be torn up on the road. Yeah, that's how bad the road has become. But yeah, fortunately, it's not a 2.5 mile road, or not even close. It's maybe a quarter of a mile. So it's still a lot of pavement, and it is something that, yeah, that is not cheap to do, but it's something that really needs to be done. All right, love to craft. So glad that you're here. Um, yeah, and Sandra, she says, hope all is well today. Yeah, I think so. Oh, thank you, Patricia, for your prayers from Virginia. And is it Doralise from Joinville, South Carolina? Wow. I need to look that up to find out where that is. Because I go down to South Carolina quite a bit, with anyway, with family and so forth. And let's see, we have Mickey Waters from soggy Jacksonville, Florida. Wow. Been through Jacksonville so many times on my way from Hialeah, Florida, up to South Carolina when I was in school. Wow, there's a lot of people in the chat. Well, let me go ahead and show you. Let me find out where I left off. Mickey Waters is saying kidney stones can also be related to parathyroid issues. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's the body is such a mystery. And just now getting to the comments, yeah. Wow, lots of new folks in the chat. Yeah, I love Jacksonville. Uh, I got some trivia for you, Mickey. I got to march in the band in the Gator Bowl. What was it? Going to be giving some numbers away here. It was 1984. Yeah, we lost to the Cowboys. I was with the Carolina band. I was actually one of the staffers, instructors, and it was kind of fun. I normally would play piccolo in the years previous before I became on staff, where I would kind of help to teach the drill. It was my senior year, and I was a music ed major, so that was just what music ed majors did that year. And they needed some people to, you know, to fill in because not everybody could make it down to Jacksonville. So they handed me a trumpet, a third trumpet part, and yeah, I can play trumpet a little bit, not a lot. I'm not going to play it for you guys because it's been too long. But yeah, handed me the third trumpet part and said, "You stand there," and had one run through to learn the drill, and then we were live for the game. Crazy, but yeah, a long time ago, a great memory. Had a wonderful time watching my team get beat by Oklahoma. Anyway. Um, Yeah, yay, Jeannie's gonna be in Pittsburgh. But Mickey, welcome to the chat. It's the first time I've seen your name, but I might have just missed it from before. And looks like Life Advice is in Connecticut. Yay. Um, and Red Hooked is excited about the knitting class. Yes, I'm so glad you could sign up for that one. And Glenda from California, welcome. And Darlene from New Jersey. And Gabrielle from Germany. Wow, welcome, my friend. And Alexandra from Germany. Wow. Got two people right in a row there. That's great. And yeah, Joni says she loves spinach. Yeah, I do too. I still eat it some in salads, but I don't eat complete spinach. I used to eat just spinach salads, and I don't do that anymore. Um, Terry said that summer has arrived this week in San Diego. The June gloom is over. Yes, good. And, and we've gotten so much rain. I'm hoping that those Canada fires are out too. And, let's see, Freaky Geek, so good to see you. And is it Sitfa? I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the last name, from Bangladesh. Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining us all the way from Bangladesh. My goodness. Um, Freaky Geek always got some puns going here. Hope you're well and ready for the weekend. Yes, yes. And Doris, welcome. First time. Wow, that's so great. Well, let me okay, I'm trying to I don't want to get too behind in your comments, guys, but I wanted to show you a couple things. Here is what was released this past week, and this is the Aegean Waves stole. Yes, it looks very transparent. Don't be fooled though. This fiber, the mohair silk blend, let me see if I can show you just how ethereal it is. I mean, it's just so fluffy, very soft, but with the blend with the silk, it makes it stronger than it looks, a lot stronger. And let me tell you, when you wear this, I had it on this morning when I was reading because I put the short sleeve top on and it was a little chilly in the house. So I just put this on. And even with the holes, um, this is one of the warmest natural fibers, I think, known to man. And it really will warm you up. So if this is great for going into a restaurant, especially in the summertime when it's really hot out and it's really cold inside, and you know what I'm talking about. And you're wearing your tank tops or your short sleeve shirts or no sleeve shirts, you can just take this. You can even make a smaller version of it. You don't have to do all 94 inches. I mean, you can just ball this up and stick it in your purse or your bag or your backpack or whatever. And if you block this, just a wet blocking after you finish it, even though you're balling it up and jamming it into your bag, it'll retain its shape. It will I'm not going to say it won't ever wrinkle because it might pick up a wrinkle here or there, but I have balled this up and just, not really, kept it pristine, but it holds and retains its shape when you block. And this doesn't have to be difficult to block something. And let me just talk briefly about this. And I think I have some links in the video description below. There are many different kinds of these on the market, in craft stores. Amazon has a lot. This is where I got mine. And these are really great. They're blocks. They come apart. You can, each of these kits that I have had 9 blocks in them. I have 3 sets of these. And yes, there are times when I use all 3 sets. And that would be 27 of these put together. And sometimes I wish I had another set and I might actually get another set. And they're self-healing which means you can stick things into them and pull them out, and you can, I've used these many times, but they don't look like they're full of holes. And this is the other thing that has turned blocking for me from a chore that I hated and avoided to something that I enjoy, because I see the transformation of my work. It just beautifies everything you do. Well, especially if something that you crochet is not exactly the shape you want it to be, you can kind of wet it lightly and kind of, encourage it to go into the shape you want, especially if you're working with natural fiber. Acrylic, you can still do that with acrylic. It doesn't work as well, but it can still work. I'm going to show you something I just blocked that is like 50-50. I think it's 40% wool, maybe 50% acrylic and 10% nylon or something like that. But these clips are really fantastic. They come in a box. So instead of losing little tiny pins, I mean, they also came with these T-pins. And you see how you could just imagine how easy this would be to lose somewhere in the house, and then somebody walks around later and finds it with their feet. Especially in our house, because we don't wear shoes in our house. We take our shoes off at the door. So I try not to use those, but I love these combs, and they come in a nice set, and then there are some that are smaller. And I do have 2 sets of these. Again, I could probably even make use of 3 sets, but and they do have different names. This is the set that I bought, but this has been a while. So I do have a link, and like I said, in the video description, if you're interested in any of these. They're affiliate links, which means it might benefit me a little bit, but it doesn't cost you any more. But you don't have to use that link, but it's just there in case, just so you can find it easily. But all that said, I am very, very close to done with the poncho. And this is going to have a collar, an offset collar. I haven't finished the final touch yet, but let me show you how this looks. And let me give you a 1-layer look so that you can see the design. And I block these panels into the same shape so that they were the same size before I sewed them together or crocheted them together. And after I did that, and then I finished the trim, I did go ahead and block this, and it really did make it pop a little bit better. The last thing I have to do, you probably didn't see this, I have 2 buttonholes, and I'm going to be adding a couple of really nice glass buttons. Now, these are buttons that I got from a friend. I met Dee Irvine. She's out in Michigan. She has an online business, and I need to put her, I will put her link down below, but actually, let me just go ahead and put it in the chat here for you. If you want to look at some of these, they are incredible. She's just another lady that works in her home. I just put it in the chat, dirvine.com. And these are handmade glass buttons. And so I'm going to put them on here. And so what happens is once I attach the buttons, and so that when I fold down, the idea is so that when you fold down the collar, you'll be able to see these buttons, and it will be slightly, kind of like off-centered, not centered going down, but off to the side. So I'll show that to you in a couple weeks once I get them sewn on. I was hoping to get them sewn on today, but had some last minute things come up. So this, again, this is going to be a re-release of the Inishmann Poncho. And I made these 2 panels wider and both panels longer so that it would just give you more coverage. And it is only sized for one size, but that sizing, I believe, would fit anybody probably from small to extra large. If you want the larger sizes, I would just recommend that you bump up the size of the yarn. Just go up to a perhaps a thicker number 4, and bump up the size of your hook from the J to the K. And I think that would give you the sizing that you would need to cover some of the larger sizes, because it's just a cape. It's not really a fitted garment. So those are much more forgiving times. Okay, we got time. And let me see. Hannah's sending me um Hannah's sending me some text. Oh, thank you, Archernace, for your comment. She said she had a sad week. Our dear father, Greg, moved to Colorado, and we are missing him. He's someone we love and are inspired by. Oh, that's so hard. Sorry to hear that. Um, I hope God provides somebody that, I know you can't replace another person, but um, yeah, I hope that works out for you. Hmm. That on top of not being able to crochet. Wow. And from Josie, thank you for your comment about the poncho. She says, I like the poncho. I just love that poncho. So beautiful. I also love that stole. I think I may find a way to make a lightweight cardigan inspired by it. What weight of yarn did you use for the stole? Okay, the stole was using a lace weight. It's a lace weight yarn, but I used an oversized hook. I think I used a size H hook. So, and also I should have said on this stole, if you don't want to make it out of mohair, and by the way, if you do use mohair, I recommend that you get some other yarn out of your stash just to do a little sample swatch so that you understand the stitching before you get started with the mohair. Mohair is not a good practice yarn because it's really, really hard to rip out mohair. Like, it's not impossible, but close. I've had to cut stitches off of a mohair design because I couldn't rip them out. So, but that said, you can also use any other, you know, um, maybe a sock weight yarn or really any size yarn. It's just that if you use thicker yarns, it won't be as, it won't be as see-through. But yeah, you can use, any yarn for this. It's a fairly, once you understand the stitching, it's a um, fairly easy, straightforward um, design. I guess I was going to say repeating design. So, it's like 4 or 5 rows, but it just repeats over and over again. All right, let me get back to some of the questions and everything here. Um, oh, thank you, Denise, for your comment. Mickey's going to uh, Colorado to Denver in August. Well, enjoy. It's so much fun to go to Colorado. And we have Liz from Trinidad, Colorado. Wow. And thank you, Sandra, for your sweet comment about the top. Oh, yeah, thank you for Sifa likes the poncho behind me, or the cape. Yeah, thank you. That's already on the channel. That's the Celtic Weave cape, I believe it's called, but it's on the channel. You'll find it. And let's see. And Zion Jams. Wow, that's a cool name. I'm currently working on the basket weave and diamond stitch throw for my grandma. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Well, welcome to our chat. I don't recall seeing your name before, but if not, sorry I missed you. But see, Hannah's sending me a question. Can you show your blue and white blanket? Yes, absolutely. Um, this was my summer. Ugh, it's a heavy one. This is my summer throw. We're calling it the Cables Love throw. And you can just make many of these squares as you'd like. I made 20 for this design. You can make fewer. And honestly, you can make them out of any yarn. I did use the paint box yarns, and I really enjoy that yarn. As you well know, I've gone through hundreds of balls of that, and I can count on one hand still how many knots that I've seen. They're really good at caring for the way they roll that yarn and manufacture it. So yeah, this is the Cable Loves Throw. It is on both my YouTube channel and it's also on the Watch channel. And just a reminder, the watch channel. Um, for my subscribers there, whenever new patterns are released, as long as I own, and I, as long as I own the rights to the patterns, which are for the most part, most of them that are going forward these days, you also receive a complimentary uh, written pattern, and kind of as a thank you for your support through that channel. And also no spam, there are no commercials. You don't have to, you know, have all this other clutter distracting you from what you are trying to do, and that is to work on designs. So and Hannah sent me another question to follow up with Josie's question from earlier. I have some superwash merino wool yarn I was thinking of using. Do you think that would work with the stole? It You could just you could give it a try, definitely, maybe make a small sample and see what you think, Josie. Um, that's also how I generally determine if I'm gonna go forward with a design, is I like to, make swatches and see if I like the fabric. So yeah, definitely just give it a try, and, you don't have to commit to all 94 inches, you can make it whatever size you want, and yeah. And so Lynn wants me to stand up and model my top. Okay, I'll try to do this, Lynn. So this is the top. Um, this is I mentioned earlier. This is my candy top. I guess we have Oreo cookie, we have Hershey bar, and then we have chocolate down at the bottom. So this is just a familiar pattern. It's been on my site for more than a year. I just changed up the yarn on it. So yeah, thank you, Lynn. Uh, I wasn't sure it would fit me, so I had to try it on. And that's one thing about this, um, pardon me, but this wattle stitch is there's a lot of give, even with yarn that's not necessarily stretchy. Okay, Hannah's looking for the name. Let me find it. Give me a second. I can't remember. Okay, it's called Summer Popcorn Yolk Top. Let me go ahead. I got the link right here. I'll put it right here. Okay, so I put the link in there if you wanted to look at it. Yeah, on the YouTube channel, it's a dark blue bodice and kind of a light blue speckled yoke um, for this particular top. And I try to guide you through as you're making this, and because it's just the wattle stitch, as long as you're adding in just multiples of, I think, 3, you can add underneath the arms, this because you just connect with chains under here and under here. So if you need more width or less, you can adjust it just by what you do with the underarm chains. I mean, so you can, and I also encourage you to take a top that you enjoy the way it fits and just compare to that top as often as you need to, because if it's smaller than your top that you like to wear, it's not gonna get any bigger when you try it on. Just like in the song Imagine, the crochet version of John Lennon's song. Um, no, that's a different song. I'm thinking of another song that I did. Just if it doesn't fit you, I mean, if the inches just aren't there, it's not gonna be any different when you try it on. So just constantly compare it. Use this shirt that you love as your pattern, just to constantly check the size on that. And then it's just basically going around and around and around, but the wattle stitch will kind of comes in, or it can go out, and stretch. Let me show you, because this can stretch quite a bit. See that? And this is not stretchy yarn. This is just superwash merino sock wool. So it's not doesn't have any elasticity naturally to it. So but the wattle stitch does give that elasticity to your work. And to a large extent, that can be said true of the dress top and the other top that I showed you. Even though this, let me show you, even though this yarn is silk, it's a rustic silk, and it was very affordable for that fiber. And let me show you. There's a lot of let me see. There's a lot of elasticity both up and down with the lace. Okay. So so what happens with those stitches is that it forms to your shape, which is, I think, what you want. It gives it a very feminine look. So as in the old Gilligan's Island show, instead of Gilligan, you get Ginger. And I think that's preferable. I mean, we are, those of you who are women, we want to look like women, right? Um, so anyway, not trying to be controversial there. I'm just stating the facts, ma'am. See, what else do I have to? Oh, I have to show you something else. I know this is crazy, but I am working on again, a redoing. Where did it go? Here it is. I'm redoing an older pattern, but with better yarn. And let me show you. It's kind of funny because I'm up to the point where I don't have to record anymore. I've got one color on my Yarn Genie, which I absolutely love. Thank you, Johnny, for telling me about this. And then I have that other color off to the side. So why do I have two colors side by side? I'm redoing the honeycomb asymmetrical scarf. And this is what I'm working on. So you have the giant honeycomb on one side, and then we have the solid color. The solid color on the other side. Do you see how seamless that looks? And I am changing colors every row, but it's so easy. It is so easy. And I should probably do a video just on changing colors. This is the back side. Okay. Do you see where all the color changes are? Of course not, because we're just on the last. Well, it's kind of hard to it's not hard to explain, but when you're completing that last stitch, what you do is you drop that color that you're using, and then you pick up the other color. And since they're side by side, you're switching. You can see it if you look really close, but you're not going to see any of that on the front side. You see that? So it's a great way to combine complementary colored yarns. And I love this yellow color, but I can't wear it up around my face because it kind of makes me look kind of sick. It's just not a good color for me, but I can wear the blues and the greens. So the way this scarf is going to be worn is kind of hard to explain it right now, but it'll be an asymmetrical. The yellow will be there, but the color around the face will be the darker color. Does that make sense? So it'll be a really nice way to throw in that fall color, but I'm probably going to wear it whenever I feel like it, not just in the fall. So this will be another re-release. This was a Knit Crate project. And since Knit Crate returned all the ownership to the designers, I mean, I kind of co-owned it with them, but I decided to switch up the yarn since their yarn was no longer available. And I think this yarn makes it look a lot better because the other yarn was just so extremely variegated. I mean, I love the Knit Crate stuff, but when they sent me that for the design, I'm like, yeah. So this, I think, is going to look a lot nicer. But anyway. Okay, so we have a few minutes left here. Let me just get to more people. And if I miss you again, I'm sorry. I'm not doing that intentionally. Uh, oh, okay. Sifal, thank you for asking all your great questions. Okay, the magazine. Yeah, this is actually, this is one of my books, Cable Crochet Made Easy, and all of the designs in this have complete video tutorials. But this is actually a stole just worn as a wrap, wrapped around and then just clipped. Let me show you another picture of this. But I do have other ponchos in this book too. If I can get to this design. Okay. Okay, here's another picture. It's one long piece, okay? But you can wear the stole as a poncho or like a wrap, with a shawl pin and clip it closed. And so those are available on Amazon.com, both as a PDF and also as a book. So yeah, that was a book. It's been a while since I released that. I think it was 2018. So it's getting some age on it. Oh, thank you, Beth. You're so sweet. Um, and Mickey says, been knitting and crocheting like I guess mad for my new granddaughter who will arrive in early September. Name chosen is Odette Jean. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Congratulations. I hope everything goes well. Um, I don't know if that's your first. I mean, my husband and I are expecting our first grandchildren. Two actually, one in late August and the other in about the same time, mid-September. And both the doctors say are boys. So we're looking forward to meeting them, but they're so exciting. A little scary too, because that just means one more heartstring or two, to love and to care for, which I'm looking forward to. But you know what I mean? It's like, somebody else to think about and love, and it's gonna be great. But they're so far away geographically. I'm hoping that will change. But yeah, and Sandra says, I totally agree with you on those people who work behind the scenes with their kindness. That makes the world a better place to live. It sure does. And Doris, welcome from Loganville, Georgia. Wow. Like I said, got lots of family in Georgia now. Three kids and their two spouses. Yeah. Um, and Francesca from Minnesota. And thank you for your comment, Wanda. And wow, Mickey says, used to be a hospice counselor, and I know those who are caregivers are angels here on earth. Yeah, well, God bless you for being a hospice counselor. I cannot imagine. Um, my kids and I volunteered when they were little. Take this the right way, Hannah. When they were cute, before they were older and more involved. But we actually, before my mom moved in with us, we spent like 13 years visiting a local nursing home where all the patients had some form of dementia. So that was very interesting. And I can't even talk about it too much because I'll start crying again because we made such amazing friends and then would have to let them go when they went to be with the Lord. And it just happened so many times. And I know you know what that's like, Mickey. It takes a special person to be able to do that for a living. Ah, yes, indeed, Sandra. God loves us no matter what, even our imperfections. Yes, in spite of our imperfections. Thank you for your prayers, Laura. And thank you, Jeannie. Yes, I will try to enjoy the family time. And JY, thank you very much for all your creativity that you share so well. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for your sweet support. That means so much more than words can say. Um, and let me just go over my list here a second. I do want to let you guys know that there has been a change on the interweave classes in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Two of the classes that were on the docket have been dropped because the didn't meet the amount of enrollees, and that would be the photography class and the 4 ways to make granny squares, the traditional granny squares. Both of those have been dropped. So we are down to 6 classes. Um, 2 of them are on crochet cables, the beginning class, Let's Learn to Crochet for Absolute Beginners, and the Fun Crochet Fabric for Beginners are still on the docket, as well as designing your own triangular scarf and the tassels, fringe, and other trims, other knotty trims, is, as far as I know right now, is still a go. But they did scale back quite a number of the classes that they had. So just wanted to let you know. But I'm still hoping to be there August 2nd through the 5th in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And if you haven't signed up, just to let you know, I think I think the lower prices have been extended for this week only, and then they're gonna go up a little bit. Um, the DFW Fiber Fest, that's in Irvine, Texas, is September 14th through the 17th, and I do have 4 classes there. I love crochet cables. Big and bold cables, tassels and fringe class, and also taking great photos of your crochet. And I really hope that class is a go because I invested in some really interesting equipment that I'm real excited to share with the class. A brand new light box that is just incredible. And the great thing about it is it can be packed into my suitcase and brought to the conference. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with somebody. And I took some really great pictures using it, and it's a very easy setup. So, hoping that goes. Uh, yeah, and I think that was all my newsy stuff for you. Um, can you show the pastel? Oh, sure. Um, I'm not sure I understand that last one, Hannah, but yeah, someone's asking for the pastel blanket. Absolutely. This is one of my favorites now. And it comes together pretty quickly. This is the Abigail baby blanket. Actually, it was viewers like you asked me to turn the Abigail shawl into a baby blanket, and I was happy to do that. And this is all self-striping yarn. It's the Mandala baby yarn by Lion Brand. And so the yarn does all the work for you, which is so much fun to see the colors come together. And that's on both my watch side and YouTube. It's also, if you ever need the written patterns, I do have a store. I have a small store at Etsy, but I have my more complete PDF download store at lovecrafts.com. All those links are in the video description. And somebody wanted to see my dolls. Let me show you what I got. I did not make this one, but I I actually did a little exchange for a shawl. I think I got the better end of the deal. At a craft show, someone really loved my shawls, and I just fell in love with this woman's doll. So I was able to get this one from her, and I mean, the hair is incredible, and this woman spent hours just doing all this beautiful hair on this doll. Isn't she cute? Just just kind and I love the boots. I love wearing boots. And last year, I have to show you this, when I was in New Orleans, somebody gave me a crocheted beignet, which is a little, dessert, which are fantastic. I got I got a whole plate of them when I was out my last day in New Orleans, because I just had to try them. I thought, "Well, it's dough, and it's fried, and it's covered with powdered sugar. What can go wrong with that?" Right? Nothing. And so I ate 1 or 2, and I thought, "Well, I'll save the others." Then I thought, "No, I'm gonna eat them all," and I enjoyed them, and they were great. And I walked many miles that day, so I'm okay. And, this is, Goldilocks. I made her when I was about 10 years old, and she also had 3 bears. It was a kit, and she had 3 bears with the kit, and tried to make the bears. I just didn't like the way they were coming out. I just didn't like the pattern. So that was probably the beginning. I already at the age of 10, um, was having issues with the way some things were written, thinking I could do better than that. It should be written better, right? But I did enjoy making the doll. And it was a lot of work though, making those eyes like that. And that may be why I haven't done a lot of these things, because it's so much work. But and my kids used to play with her when they were little, so I just held on to that. Oh, did you see her little purse here on her shoulder? Isn't that cool? So yeah, this was bought from a local crafter at a craft fair. But I just think they're both so. I just think she's so beautiful. I have another doll made of fabric upstairs that's also gorgeous, and I did another bartering at a craft fair, and so I just I don't know. I just love the care that was taken in making these. Got my little dessert up there. Did I get my book? Yes, I did. Let me get my book ready. Let me just because I want to read a little bit before we go. It's getting a little bit late. Oh, thank you, Doris, for the traveling mercies. I appreciate that. Let me just make sure there's. Oh, Lynn, so good to see you in the chat as always. And hello, right back at you, gorgeous lady. Goodness gracious. Um, thank you for your prayers, Anne. And yeah, thank you, Josie. She said she's a huge book lover. So if you're interested, I could also recommend some books to you to help pass the time. Yeah. Archernace, if you're into mystery books, I have some I can send to you that I think you'll really love. They're page turners and they're really well written by one of my favorite authors. So send me your email. Send me your email, okay? I can get a box out to you at some point. I'll have to walk it down. Uh, well, anyway, I'm still homebound with the driveway situation, but we'll see. Um, yeah, and no, Hannah, the dress does not have an available pattern yet. Just to answer that question again, yeah, it could be a dress or a top, the one behind me here, but no, the pattern is forthcoming. It'll be coming. Give me a few weeks on that, but I am working on it. I worked on it uh, a day or so this week, and need to probably get back to working on it as soon as I get done with lunch today. Yeah, no problem, Hannah. Uh, oh, thank you, Jay Liz, for your support. She said I bought the seasonal throws book and I want to make them all. They're so beautiful. Oh, thank you for your support. I really enjoy those, and I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. I'm working on another leaflet. It's going to be similar. It's going to have a lot of some throws that have already. Most of those will have already been released, but it will also have a brand new throw in there that I finished this week, and I think I have my cover shot. So I'm real excited about that. It'll be another leaflet with just throws, just Celtic cable throws. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's kind of nice to release these. I know that you have the PDFs available for a lot of these, but it's really nice when they're in a booklet. I don't know, just being old school. I know it doesn't make them more official or better or anything like that, but to me, it kind of does. It kind of makes them a little more official. So I love working with KDP Amazon. So I'm looking forward to getting that out. I'm going to try to roll that out sometime in September. And that was another thing that with this driveway situation and being kind of locked in place. Part of the reason why I was locked in place is I left my car parked in the middle of the grass. Instead of parking it down on the street where it could get hit or stolen, I decided to leave it here, which kind of made me homebound. But it was a good fetter to have around my foot this week because I got so much work done by the grace of God. Yes. Um, oh, thank you again, Lynn. I'm reading your sweet comments. And Michelle Power, thank you so much. So glad that you can join us today. Oh, and Josie says, I love Jordan Peterson. I very much enjoy his podcast. I'll have to try to find that. He has a Genesis and Exodus series I've been interested in checking out. Well, the book that I'm reading on is the 12 things for life or something like that. It's kind of an antidote to chaos is the subtitle. I didn't restate that title correctly. I have to take a look at it, but that's the book I'm reading. And again, I'll let you know once. I like to kind of go cover to cover, but what I've read so far has been very interesting and intriguing and very encouraging for the most part. Knowing that he's coming from a slightly different background than me and just we still have so much in common. And I'm learning a lot. So I really appreciate that. Um, yes, Sitfall, you're right. Nothing, like he says, nothing better than competing um, and comparing with thyself. Yes, definitely. He does not encourage us to compare to one another, but to compare to our old self, our self from a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago, whatever. Um, and yeah. And Mary, good to have you. She says Jordan Peterson is great. I listen to him on different topics on YouTube. I'm going to look him up and see what I can find out. Thanks for the prompt on that, guys. I didn't even think to look him up. Oh, thank you, Anne, for your comment. Well, oh, and Zoso, hello. glad that you can join us. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Welcome, welcome. We love newbies. And Freaky Geek wants to know, skirt, would that be the skirt part of the dress? If you're talking about the dress, it's just the shirt just extends down. And if you need to even make the hips even larger, you shouldn't have to, but if you did, you can always just upsize your crochet hook on that lace. It's really tricky to add stitches in on these kinds of designs. And crafts by the Rose. Hi, in all the chat room. Love y'all. I'm in. Okay, great. So glad you could join us. And thank you, Michelle. You're so sweet. Oh, wow. Mickey says, I had locking fingers and couldn't crochet for a while. So I used my voice recorder on my phone, making lots of lists on works in progress and new projects I wanted to do. Oh, that would just be so torture. I think that's my biggest fear. I mean, is just not being able to use my hands. And I've had, I won't get into it all, but I've had some pretty interesting surgeries in the past neurologically with the spinal cord surgeries and stuff. It's like 20 years ago now, but um, wasn't sure how that was going to turn out. And glad it turned out in my favor. Great surgeon. Thank you, Dr. Moskowitz. Um, Archer Renee says, also need prayers for favor with my job and that they do not outsource our jobs. Yeah. Writing it down now. Okay. Definitely have that. And all right, I think I do need to let Hannah go. So I do want to read something. We went a little longer today, but I'm good. um, I wanted to read this, and maybe this is for you, Terry. I don't know. But I was reading this today again, and I have the link in the video description. This is one of my favorite devotionals, Beside Still Waters by C.H. Spurgeon, the 19th century preacher, pastor, amazing guy. Um, he's reading this, and it's based on the verses from Job 36:8. So I hope this encourages you. I'm just going to read. When you are in trouble, do not, this is Mr. Spurgeon speaking, and he is speaking to Christians. So you just have to keep that in mind. When you are in trouble, do not expect to perceive any immediate benefit. In hard pain, I have tried to see if I have grown a bit more resigned or more earnest in prayer or more observed in fellowship with God. But I confess that I have never been able to see the slightest improvement because the pain distracts and scatters my thoughts. Severe trouble in a true believer has the effect of loosening the soul's roots earthward and tightening the heart's anchor hold heavenward. How can we love a world that has become so dismal? Why should we seek grapes that are bitter? Should we not ask for the wings of a dove to fly to our dear country and be at rest forever? Afflictions clip our wings with regard to earthly things, and we cannot fly from our dear Master's hand. Yet the same affliction makes our wings grow with regard to heavenly things. We are feathered like eagles. A thorn is in our nest, and we catch the soaring spirit. We spread our wings toward the sun. Affliction frequently opens truths to us and opens us to the truth. Experience unlocks truths that were closed. Many passages of Scripture will never be made clear by the commentator, for these must be expounded by experience. Many a verse is written in a secret ink that must be held to the fire of adversity to make it visible. Affliction plows and opens our hearts so that into our inmost nature the truth penetrates and soaks like rain into the plowed land. Affliction, when sanctified by the Holy Spirit, brings much glory to God through the believer's experience with the Lord's faithfulness. I hope that encourages you as much as it did me today. When I read that, I just need to be reminded of these things, both when we're walking through affliction and especially when we're not, so that we can be prepared because we know it's just a matter of time, really. One of my favorite pastors used to say that if you haven't suffered yet, Give it time. You will. We don't leave this world without it, but so good to know that his hand is upon us when we trust and believe in him. Well, gosh, I hope you guys have a wonderful week or 2, and I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. God bless. Bye-bye.